Hello, welcome back to my channel, Moonfire Magic. I am Diane Cox, and I've been thinking recently on the introduction to this channel, it's all about healing. I say that this channel is all about healing, and I haven't really done anything about healing for a while. I used to do a lot of meditations and sound baths, and then my sound system kind of wouldn't work with the computer and it got all a bit complicated. And I thought it's about time I did something actually about healing, like some natural stuff that I've always been very interested in. I'm very interested in nutrition, natural healing, and especially micro nutrients and how they affect the body, and if you don't get them, what happens. But what I decided to talk about today was the herpes virus and cold sores especially. So if you've got the herpes virus yourself that activates and flares up, or you've got a friend or a child or anyone of your family or someone at work, whatever, I've tried everything. Okay, I started getting cold sores when I was about 11, and you know, normally always around the mouth, sometimes on the nose, but always around here. I've tried everything, every kind of thing you can buy. You know, when my mum was in charge, she'd take me to the doctor, and then I'd have something there, creams and all kinds of stuff. And I'll tell you what, actually works for me, I should say. Because one thing you need to understand about cold sores and the herpes simplex virus is, food-wise, if we're talking micronutrients, food-wise, you've got two amino acids. One is arginine and one is lysine. And arginine is very good for blood type of stuff, blood pressure. You know, they're very important, vital amino acids that everyone needs. Lysine has got even more. It's an amino acid that basically has a lot of benefits for mental health and stress and bones and tendons and the immune system, and lots of functions that a lot of amino acids do have. And what you need to know if you are a little bit sensitive to arginine, and is that arginine can trigger cold sores, right? So if you have foods that have high arginine content, basically it can just trigger the whole virus. And even sometimes you can get foods that, even though they're not high in arginine, they can still mimic something that makes the body thinks there's a high arginine input coming, okay? So you need both, and the perfect thing is to get something that's higher in lysine, a bit lower in arginine if you are you know, kind of sensitive to the virus. You need a balance, and you'll normally find foods have a balance, either high arginine and low lysine, or other way around, high lysine, low arginine. And it's good to get something that's kind of lysine heavy if you are a little bit prone to that herpes virus, okay? And I'll tell you some of the foods, and then I'll tell you what I have found really works, because some of the foods you just won't expect. So, for instance, I've recently found out that, because I always look now, if I get like one of the little, the kind of, you know, warning signs of any cold sore stuff, I kind of look up any foods. I ice the area, okay, always put ice on it. And then I've found recently lemon juice, putting lemon juice on the area, even if it's flared up already, ice, lemon juice, and then I put pure lavender oil on the area. You know, you can put it on with a cotton bud, all of it, you know, so obviously the ice can wrap it up in some fabric and then just sit with it on your face for a bit. And then obviously cotton bud for the lemon juice and for the lavender oil. Works really, really, really well. But some of the arginine high foods, for instance, And I look back on my life now and I just think, okay, I'm a vegetarian. And obviously I used to live on toast and hummus with a bit of beetroot on it. Kind of come home from work after doing, massaging, hypnosis, reflexology, astrology, the whole thing. And then I used to teach belly dancing, so I'd been doing belly dancing classes and all that kind of stuff. Then come home, not really in the mood for cooking. Chips is always nice on the way home, and chips is a low arginine food. Excellent news. Potatoes are. And I used to live on kind of toast and hummus with beetroot on the top. And now I find out wheat is a high arginine food, bread, and chickpeas are high arginine food, lentils are high arginine food. So basically, if you're like any other vegetarian, you might make like a vegetable soup with maybe some broccoli and some lentils in it and some certain types of beans, all high arginine. And then you're thinking, but I'm eating well. Why am I getting cold sores? I'm not stressed. I'm okay. I'm not eating masses of sugar, even though I did back then. And you're like, why? Why am I doing this? And why is this, flaring up? And not, blah, blah, blah. Psycho-spiritually, cold sores around the lips are to do with fiery emotions that are being suppressed. Okay, now that would really work in my case. Growing up, as we all do, we grow up and being in an industry where you're doing clients and, I used to work at health spas and you hear all kinds of stuff and you can't really say what's on your mind. And same with like social situations or friends or whatever, it's like, keep it in and then this fiery blister erupts on the face. So, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so if you're making like a soup with lentils and even some broccoli and there's certain vegetables that, like I say, chickpeas that aren't onions, cooked onions are high in arginine. Sorry, I keep looking out the window because these birds are all getting ready to go to bed, and so they're all kind of flitting around. So if you made a nice vegetable kind of bakey, stewy kind of thing, don't like that word stew, hot pot, casserole, that's a good word. It could all be full of stuff that triggers arginine, and then you might get a breakout in a few days because the body's had a bit of an arginine kind of boost up. So I've made a little note here, and I'm going to put a link in the description box below about if you are prone, how you can basically avoid the foods. I recently found out grapes were high in arginine, figs are high in arginine, because I'd had this big thing on figs. It was fig season here, and I didn't get a full cold sore, but there was some like little tingly. I thought, okay, let's keep that down, watch that. This is another thing, nuts. I mean, it's nuts. I used to live on nuts, and I love nuts. They're such a great food, aren't they? They're such a brilliant food. Such a great complex food to have. Walnuts are very high in arginine, as are peanuts and hazelnuts. And I know, what's that lady's name? Barbara, whoever the Australian lady is, that does all the brilliant information about natural health, and everyone should stop eating sugar and peanuts and wheat. And I forget the other two because of molds in the body and stuff. So nuts, like I say, peanuts, walnuts, hazelnuts are the worst offenders. Cashews aren't too bad. Pecans are okay. So you'd have to just like check your, just your nut kind of thing. But yeah, like I say, when you and another thing for vegetarians and vegans, which is, you just have to be mindful of, and it doesn't mean you have to never eat them. It's just be mindful that these are stuff that can, if you eat it every single day, and it's like one of the things, and you keep having breakouts, and it's like, well, here's the connection, because it's soy. Okay, so if you're drinking soya milk, obviously non-GMO, lovely, free of glyphosate stuff, edamame beans, however you like to say it. You know, those young roast beans, soya beans are like immature beans you get. Tofu, tempeh. You got to be careful with all that kind of stuff. That is, even miso. I think miso is high in arginine. So I'm just saying this for people who have obviously got, you know, that sensitivity to cold sores and stuff. So get your lysine levels up. There's lots of foods with, like I say, high lysine and low arginine, which is, I'm going to put this link in below, otherwise I'm just listing a load of foods off. Let me see what else I put. I think I've mentioned pumpkin seeds, high in, oh yeah, that's one I haven't mentioned. Oats. You know, I see so many programs on cooking about, you know, doing cakes in a more healthy way or biscuits. Oats. Man, is there such a debate about oats, and some people say don't ever eat them. Other people go, oh, they're the best thing since sliced bread. Is sliced bread the best thing that ever came? I wouldn't say so. I don't know what the best thing would. I mean, spuds for me. I think spuds are my spirit vegetable. And broccoli, I love broccoli. It's my spirit vegetable, I think, spuds, in any way, shape or form. So yeah, that's one thing I wrote down. Pumpkin seeds, oats, squashes, spirulina. Who would ever want to eat that? I've tried it a few times. Tastes like a bog, you know, some kind of, you're out in a field somewhere and there's stagnant water's been hanging around for a bit. Same as the chlorella and all that kind of stuff. It's been bad enough trying to get, you know, some other kind of stuff into your diet that you just think, really? My dear beloved always says, now, were people really eating that? Is that what was available in their natural neighbourhood? Is that what they used to eat, spirulina? It's like, I'm not sure, sweetheart. I don't think so. And dark chocolate. Dark chocolate is high in arginine. It's brilliant for B12 if you're a vegetarian, vegan. High in B12, as is nutritional yeast. I haven't checked nutritional yeast for arginine levels. But anyway, I just wanted to say that. And then if you're looking at your diet and you're getting cold sore outbreaks and you don't know why, and you're allowing your expression to come forward, you're allowing your liver to flow, you're not stagnating any emotions or any words, you're just allowing it all to flow, and there's nothing being stuck in your mouth or around your mouth that you are oppressing and not saying. If that's all kind of great and you're not stressed and you're not run down, because obviously that's another thing. Lysine is very good for the immune system, as is rest and being authentic. But yeah, that was what I wanted to say. Ice, lemon juice, lavender, okay? I've never tried the Lysine creams that are out these days. There was always some cream you could get from the chemist when I was a young girl that used to put on, which was quite good. But of course, you've always got to get it as soon as you feel the tingle. I was actually in a supermarket a few years ago and I could feel the tingle, so I just went to the freezer section and put like something on my face. I think it was like some kind of cardboard container, and just thought, okay. I mean, it wasn't obviously up. I would never do that. I never put something on my face that was blistered, but it was great. You know, ice is fantastic. You know, and they say that, you know, putting your face in an ice bowl just to really kind of, you know, get everything freshened. So that's my video. I'm going to be doing more videos on actual health because it's something, as I say, I'm fascinated with, and it's always good to start with something that you found after decades of having it, what really helps. And I'm very interested in Ayurvedic medicine. I don't do it, but I do read a lot about it and the doshas. And of course, if you've got a hot dosha, like a pitta dosha, a fiery kind of dosha, there's lots of breathing techniques you can do to cut, because it's all about fire and heat. You know, often with cold sores, they call them fever blisters. So it's kind of, you know, that breathing where you curl your tongue and you suck in air through your curled tongue and then you breathe out, and it's meant to calm the system. So it would be and it calms the whole body. There's another one where you suck air through the teeth. I'm not sure, but I tend to do that one more. That kind of thing. So it's all calming, same as the ice, the lemon and the lavender. And so keep your eyes out for your friends, your kids and anyone you know that gets cold sores, and just check with them if they know about arginine and the lysine and their own approach. If you're watching this and you have another fantastic natural method of just stopping cold sores in their track, then do let me know. And it's great just to share as much information as possible, keep it all nice and natural. And yeah, that's it. So thank you for watching, and I will be seeing you soon. Take care now. Bye bye.